Links, I'm with Chess Vets. I'm going to be showing a game today that I played against Sam Middlebrooks at our normal Black Rifle weekly casual games over here in Temple, Texas. Little information about Sam. Sam was a Marine Corps Lance Corporal. He got out of the Marine Corps and got his PhD, at which point he came into the Army and was a tank commander. And then he finished up his career as a NATO planner over in Europe. Sam's a very great guy. He's kind of a little hard of hearing, and he raises hair-bearing sheep. If you know what that is, basically he has big horned sheep down here in his Texas ranch with his wife Betty, and they've been married for quite a while. Okay, let me get back to the game here. All right, we started out, and I did a King's Pawn opening, which I normally don't do. He responds back with a King's Pawn opening, and this is pretty much his normal line. When he opens up white, he normally plays and he likes the A1 to H8 diagonal. I assume that also in black he's going to be doing that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna set up a King's Gambit here. I know that's a little bit a different opening. It's strong, but it's got a lot of pitfalls, and I'm not really versed in it, so I'm trying to play it more in order to be a little bit more familiar with it. He declines the King's Gambit, and he goes for the basically trying to get a center pawn himself. If you notice the green arrow, that's the recommended move from the computer. Yeah, centralize my knight. It didn't like that. It said I should have took it. Normally in these positions, I don't like to take, even though I agree with the computer that might have been the best course of action, because if he would have taken back, then my knight's kind of dislodged from an important defensive spot. So, okay, he brings out his knight, so he should have capitalized on taking that pawn and getting that knight dislodged. Okay, at this point, I did the move I should have done before, which is bringing my pawn up to support that other pawn. Okay, he likes the pawn move. I'm not sure why he did this move, and probably in order to open up his diagonal. Like I said, Sam is a creature of habit, so I'm kind of expecting this during this game. I do the knight towards the center and developing. He brings down his pawn. It says the computer says that's the best move. Okay, I bring up my pawn. It didn't like that move. It liked me to support, but actually at this point, I'm trying to get that bishop, long diagonal bishop myself, because I'm trying to put more pressure on the E5 square, and because I think that's going to be a big part of the battle. Okay, so he moves his pawn up, and I was kind of expecting this because I figure on his next move he'll probably move the bishop, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay, I do my bishop move, like I said, and he does his bishop move as anticipated. Okay, I bring my queen up because at this point I'm trying to get my king out of the center, and I figured doing a queenside's castle is better than a king side, because he normally likes to go to his king side, and because I know this, I got a pretty strong attack with that H pawn, but I don't want to broadcast that yet, so I'm just saying. And that once again, having that bishop on that long diagonal is going to be helping out my attack. Okay, he brings his bishop out, which it liked, but it liked his knight move better in order. So we'll see. it liked my move. Once again, it liked the knight up, but I don't like that quite yet because I got something else in mind. Okay, he basically goes to the king side, which I expect him to do. At this point, I immediately launch my attack on the H file. He stops that attack with his pawn. But the problem when you do that is that you leave a really nice outpost on G5 for my knight. And that's a really dangerous spot for my knight to be. Okay. So, which I take advantage of immediately. Now, if you notice, this knight attacking this bishop is hanging. Okay, so he needs to address that. But also, if I get this square allows for a really nasty fork here. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, he takes the pawn. I'm not sure why he did that because at this point that bishop is unprotected, and I get that nasty fork at the same time. So I go for that fork right away. And he moves up his queen. That's the only logical move. I take his rook because not only do I take the material there, but I'm trying to gain a little time, a little tempo. If I take a piece, then it takes some time to get a piece back. He takes it with the rook, which is understandable. I take it with the pawn in the mid. Now at this point, I'm trying to open up this file because I have a pretty good battery here with this queen and rook. I have to watch out for this diagonal though with the bishop because that's really dangerous because my queen is absolutely pinned. I'm going to lose my queen to this bishop if I'm not careful. So I have to keep an eyeball on that. Okay, and he does exactly what I expected to. Now this guy's a goner. So I mean, there's really nothing I can do except maybe short up a little bit, and I want to get this pawn moving again. So so to get this block out actually helps that out. So my next move is to put him in check. All right, and that once again to give me some time. All right, and it gets my bishop developed with tempo, and at the same time, it allows me time to shore up this pawn with this G move here. Okay, so he has to move the king, which he does. That's his only spot that makes sense for him to go to, by the way. You know, he could have went up to here, but I don't think that's as good because of this discovered attack if he basically takes this. So at one point I take this up. At this point I'm expecting him to take with the bishop to take my queen because I can't move my queen out of the way. So I move my queen out of the way. That's actually I could have basically moved my king, but you know, I feel that my queen is a little naked here with that bishop attacking anyway. So I want to get it out of there. So I know it's going to take a little bit, and I'm going to probably lose this pawn, but I have to do this because this is going to be discovered, and I would lose the game at that point. Okay, I move my queen, right? I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather do that than keep my queen in danger. So so he takes the pawn. That's his best move, and this is a discovered attack of my king. I simply move my king away. Now this bishop here, this Finichetto bishop actually has a good spot in order to keep from back rate mates or other stuff. It's actually pretty versatile and a pretty good defender when we do that. He comes down, he moves his rook down. That's a good move. The computer wanted him to move his pawn, but you know that's still a good move. Okay, as it says here. Okay, then at this point, I bring my knight over, and you go, well, why did I do that? Well, I did that because I'm trying to put more pieces on this queening square on G1 here. So if I have a knight there, that's going to help out. And not only that, I covered the bishop up with this, but it's going to be opened up as soon as I come up here anyway. Then he goes here with his queen. He's putting some more spice caliente. He would have done better by putting this pawn up, but because that forced me to make a rook move, and that was going to be a problem. Okay, I take it. Now this is my very first brilliant move. I mean, that I pretty much ever made. Or at least recognized that I made. So I took this pawn because I knew there was going to be a thorn in my side. So at this point, I know a pawn is worth less than a knight, so that's not normally a good thing. But this pawn was too powerful. I had to get rid of it. Now it also has some other nice deals about this. All right, so we'll see in a second. Okay, he takes it with the rook, which is good. Right now, why did I move my queen here? I wanted to move my rook down, my bishop down, but the problem is that I'm seeing a potential checkmate here by me bringing my queen down. The only piece he could block with is his bishop, at which point my queen takes and it's checkmate. So I'd rather have the checkmate than his queen, me personally. Okay, so he puts the bishop over here in order to protect the square. And so I'm like, I had thought about this one for a minute. So I'm like, okay, I simply got rid of it. All right. So it no longer guards that, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay. He brings down and at one point he wants to do a queen exchange, and guess what? I don't do it. I basically take his bishop. Took his rook from my bishop and bishop. He could take my bishop, but that's still a win-win, and he's still got the problems here. So he does the only thing he can do, right? He takes my queen, right? I take back with my rook. Now, why did I take with this rook and not this rook? This rook actually, he really wasn't doing anything here. It's a closed file. I'd rather put it on an open file where he's more active. Okay. And at this point, my opponent resigned because he's played me enough to know that at this point it's just academic. A good strategy to do is at this point is to put all your pieces, for the most part, on the white squares and not the dark squares, because he still has a bishop on the dark square, and that, for the most part, that neuters that piece. So he knows that I know this, and it just can be a matter of time. His knight's going to fall this next move, or at least can be putting him in a bad spot. Okay, well, hopefully you learned something out this game. I know I did, and I'll try to put out more of these videos. And remember, just because you're learning chess doesn't mean that you're not going to get better. I mean, just like anything in life, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So, if you're doing it for recreational reasons, totally get that. 600 million people plus play this game in the world. If you're doing it for therapeutic reasons, I totally get that too. That's one of the main reasons I play. Okay, so thank you very much. This is Michael Lenox from Chess Vets signing off. I'm asking you to subscribe, like, and share if you like this video. The reason why is because we absolutely hate to basically ask for money. And if you just do this simple task, it allows us to make some money from YouTube. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.